Broncos Minicamp is underway. It'll be going on all weekend long. So I want to put out some names to keep on your radar as you probably pick up some different news stories that come out from training camp, or from minicamp, I should say. But really quickly, there were some roster moves that were made earlier today to get back to the 90-man roster limit. Veteran wide receiver Philip Dorsett, he was released. And then defensive tackle Rashard Lawrence, he was with the Cardinals for a while under Vance Joseph. He was released as well. So a pair of roster moves being made right as minicamp for the rookies gets underway. Now, before we look at my 5 names to watch for, help us get over 200 likes for 11th, 12th, 13th straight video. The last time we had less than 200 likes on a video was April 26th. So keep the good vibes and good train rolling. Hit that thumbs up button. Now, a quick primer for who to keep an eye on this weekend. Obviously, the 7 draft picks made by the Broncos are pretty good names to watch for. Bo Nix, Jonah Ellis, the first 2 picks, Troy Franklin, Chris Abrams Drain, Aundre Kosmider, Devon Vele, and Nick Gargiulo. So, I do want to share with you guys what Nick Kosmider from The Athletic wrote. I found it to be very insightful, and I thought you might too. During an 8-9 season, the Broncos collectively ranked 30th in snaps played by rookies. Only the San Francisco 49ers and Miami Dolphins, a pair of playoff teams, put first-year players on the field less frequently, according to TruMedia. From 2018 through 2021, his final 4 seasons as the coach in New Orleans, the Saints never ranked higher than 21st in total snaps played by rookies, and they finished 30th during that span. So, one more time, take a look at this Broncos rookie draft class, and with that information in mind, maybe lower your expectations for some of these guys. I'm very excited about the Jonah Ellis draft pick, but he's got some competition in front of him in terms of getting onto the field. Jonathan Cooper, Baron Browning, Nick Bonito. Same goes for Troy Franklin, Chris Abrams Drain. So when rookies are drafted, they're kind of like puppies. They're super excited. They're kind of cute. You want to play with them. And then once they piss in your apartment or your house, you are reminded as to why they are puppies. And it takes some growing and training to get them up to full speed. So just maybe lower your expectations for them in year 1, given what Denver did with their rookies last year. So let me toss this question your way. Will a rookie start week 1 for the Broncos? Obvious candidate could be someone like Bo Nix. Or maybe it's another year where a rookie does not start for the Denver Broncos in week 1. Now, enough teasing. Let's get into 5 players to watch, starting with quarterback Bo Nix. I would be doing you a disservice if I did not lead this video off with Bo Nix. Broncos country just needs quarterback rookie highlights in their life. It's been a while since they had a rookie quarterback in training camp that they had this much optimism about. Drew Lock, 2nd-round pick, close to it, but maybe not as highly anticipated or highly awaited as Broncos country has been for their first look at Bo Nix in a Broncos uniform. So overall, just from a pure football porn standpoint, Broncos country needs this, right? They need something to add to their football spank bank to get them all the way through the summer, because this has been a long, painful drought of no consistent quarterback play, and also just having no real touch for finding quarterbacks in the draft, right? I mean, the best quarterback in the last 20 years, of course, Peyton Manning, came over in free agency. And you go down murderer's row of Broncos failed rookie quarterback picks, Drew Lock, Paxton Lynch. Jay Cutler is probably the best of the bunch in the last, that was over 15 years ago now, I think, right? So it's been a long time. And ultimately, QB1 competition, it starts today. Let me give you guys a little bit of a tidbit of how the rookie minicamp usually goes. It is about seeing who's in shape, right? Who took care of their body from the last time they really had to, which was the NFL Combine or their pro day, or who let themselves go a little bit, which I would probably be in that camp. And then also, who can absorb all of the jargon and the playbook and the information needed to run an NFL team, right? These rookies are going to have a absolute ginormous, this big, thick of a playbook thrown their way, and who can take it all in and learn it and memorize it as quickly as possible. So For Bo Nix, the competition to be the starting quarterback, it starts today. And it's not because of the way he's going to throw the football all weekend long or whether or not he throws touchdowns or interceptions, but how quickly does he take on and learn this playbook? Next two guys to watch for, a pair of running backs. Let's lump Audric Estime and UDFA from Memphis, Blake Watson, together. So Blake Watson, for starters, was one of the more highly paid UDFA signings, so you know there was some level of interest with the Broncos in Watson. But of course, Audric Estime was a fifth-round pick for the team out of Notre Dame. And the Broncos running back just room committee, it's kind of in a unique spot. You've got Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine both entering contract years. Jaleel McLaughlin of UDFA last year showed a lot of promise in his rookie year, but I'm not sure if he'll ever graduate to the point of being a three-down running back. And there's Audric Estime, the fifth-round pick this year that maybe in his rookie year doesn't have a huge role carved out for him outside of maybe some goal line touches given his size. But maybe next year, if the team does not bring back Williams or Perine, he could have a much bigger role in for him in 2025. But ultimately, the Denver Broncos just need to find some good running backs. Look at the last 5 years of their rushing average. The best they ever finished was 13. I mean, not even really all that super close to being top 10 in the league when it comes to running the football. Last year, 18. Year before that, 21st. In fact, the last time the Broncos even finished top 10 in rushing, any guesses what year that was? Just top 10. Or who that running back was? A little trivia here for you. 5, 4, 3. Pause now if you want to think for longer. 2, 1. 2011. Willis McGahee and Tim Tebow were the two leading backs. Willis McGahee with a Pro Bowl season and Tim Tebow using his legs to add on to that rushing attack. They finished first in 2011. It's been a long time. That was the last time they were even top 10 in rushing. So yeah, I'm going to be watching the running backs closely. Fourth guy to keep an eye on is the rookie out of Mizzou, cornerback Chris Abrams Drain. Why? Because if you were a cornerback in this draft class, you wanted to get picked by the Broncos because the Denver Broncos have an opening. They have a for sale sign at their CB2 job. It is vacant. It is up for grabs. So CB2 right now is open for business. You've got veterans like Levi Wallace, Damari Mathis, Riley Moss competing for it. But Chris Abrams Drain will join that mix. And by no means is this job just going to be handed over to a veteran. If Chris Abrams Drain puts together the best minicamp, OTAs, training camp, preseason of all three of these veteran players and himself included, I think he'll win that job. This is not a major uphill battle for Abrams Drain to claim their CB2 job opposite of Patrick Surtain. Last year for Mizzou, huge playmaker. 13 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. Now, he is slightly undersized, which is why I think he'll project to be a nickel corner in the NFL. But if he's in the mindset of size does not matter, me too, buddy, he could definitely win that CB2 job. Now, before we look at the fifth and final player to watch for at Broncos rookie minicamp, if you want to get your hands on a Bo Nix Broncos jersey, I mean, what better player to get if you want to get a new jersey in general, since they have brand new jerseys, than the brand new quarterback for this team. Chatsports.com/Nix. Get your hands on a Bo Nix jersey. Do future you a favor right now, because if you put it off and wait, we know that sometimes shipping can take a long time, and you don't want to be the guy at your first training camp or tailgate, pregame, preseason game, whatever it may be, wearing last year's Russell Wilson jersey. Get yourself a brand new Bo Nix jersey. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. Fifth player to watch for at rookie minicamp. How about Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin? The player that the Broncos moved up in day 3 of the draft to select. 6'1", 176 pounds, 4'4", 140-yard dash. So we can just stop right there and go, good size, smallish frame, but really good speed. So he's probably not going to be able to run every single route in the book because at 176 pounds, bigger DBs can kind of push you off of your path. But at 4'1", 6'1", you're going to have the ability to get into the second level and then climb up an actual tree to come down with the ball. And when you score 25 touchdowns at your time in Oregon, I'm going to believe that you have a knack for finding the end zone. And with Jerry Jeudy no longer in the picture, Josh Reynolds was added to replace Jeudy. They get Tim Patrick back. But outside of that, you've got some, open competition for the wide receiver snaps. Like Josh Reynolds, 608 yards, 5 touchdowns last year for the Lions. Courtland Sutton, and I'll put Marvin Mims in there, but I don't think we saw enough of Marvin Mims to believe that without a doubt this guy is going to be a surefire wide receiver 2 for a team. There were some good highlights early on in this season and really good special teamer, but would you stick your neck out to say Marvin Mims will in fact be this team's wide receiver 2? There's no question about it. I'm not as confident about Mims being the team's wide receiver 2 as maybe some other teams with surefire talent at that position. So Troy Franklin comes over from Oregon, and he joins a room that is definitely, up for grabs more so than other wide receiver rooms. I mean, you just kind of think around the NFL, for example. Take the Chicago Bears, okay? They've got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze. If Troy Franklin was on the Bears, that is a much tougher piece of glass to break through. Don't you agree? Compared to Marvin Mims and Josh Reynolds. No offense to those guys, but they're not as established as maybe some other number 2, number 3 wide receivers across the league. So the question becomes, can Troy Franklin replace Jerry Jeudy? This team is looking for a wide receiver to replace Jerry Jeudy's snaps and production last year. Right now, the leader in the clubhouse would be the guy they signed, Josh Reynolds. Maybe Tim Patrick can get back to his 2021 form. Maybe it's one of the previous UDFAs they added, like Brandon Johnson or Jalen Virgil. But it could be anyone, including Troy Franklin. Now, which rookie are you most excited to see? The obvious answer is Bo Nix. Now, if you want to be a bit of a football hardo, I invite you to give me a much more deeper answer than Bo Nix, but even I'll be a basic bitch here and say, Bo Nix, hand up. All right, that will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll see you throughout the weekend.